Hey everybody, this is Adrian. This is my I don't know what installment, but this is another installment of H.I.M, How I Met. And in this episode we are going to talk about Thomas RaShad Easley. Gotta give you all three names because depending on where he is, that's the name that he goes by. So it's a couple of different names. So this is my story and my story alone. These may or may not be the story of Thomas RaShad Easley, but it is mine. So I hope you enjoy it. That was my disclaimer. So Thomas RaShad Easley is a Yale professor. Used to be a professor here at North Carolina State. He's not a professor at Yale. What is he? He is the director of diversity. He has one of those big long titles. I can't remember it off the top of my head, but we'll talk about it in the interview because the interview is coming later. So he also does music, phenomenal music, uplifting people, uplifting women. Used to be a pastor. I know it's so many different things. He is known as the hip hop forester, which we'll talk about more in the interview as well. But how did I meet Thomas RaShad Easley? It's it's really not a long story, but it's a good story. I think it's a good story. So a few years back, I was divorced, just getting back in the swing of things. Just wrote my first book, my poetry book, and opening my business, my psychology business and everything. So I was trying to do some networking. So the person that did my book signing event was also holding different networking events. I think it was once a month or something like that. So I went to one of the networking events. It was an after work networking event. So I kind of put on a little suit, make it look like I just came from an office. I didn't. I was I mean, I did come from an office, but not that type of office. So I don't normally like dress up when I see clients. I will sometimes wear a button down. Depends. Some of my clients on the weekends, they'll get me like this. But during the week, I try to see my clients in a button down and some dress pants, but not like fully suited up like I came from an office. But when I go networking, I go from an office to office. So I was talking to the person that set up the event, and they were like, "Oh, you should meet RaShad." I was like, "Okay," and I'm thinking, because we're at a networking event, I'm thinking networking. And they went on, they were like, "Oh, he's a professor at North Carolina State University, blah, 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 and he's single." I was like, "Oh, you trying to set us up?" And they were like, yeah, because he's single and you single and y'all should talk. And I was like, okay. But, so what ended up happening, they introduced the two of us. We hit it off because he's a phenomenal person. Just all around great guy. And we just end up talking. We end up talking a lot. I don't even think we stayed for the end of it or however long we stayed, but he ended up walking with me to the car, and our car was in the same parking deck. I hate parking decks. It's a whole other story. I just don't like parking in parking decks if I can help it, but there was no parking on the street anywhere, and the parking deck was right across the street, and it was the best thing for me to do, even though I didn't want to park in the parking deck. I think it was free. I think that's why I did it. And it was first floor right by the thing, so it was like kind of open. So it didn't bother me but so much, but it was still a bother. So we ended up walking. We got in the parking. I think we talked for like 30 minutes or more upon meeting. He is very knowledgeable. He's very personable, and we were just talking about stuff. Like we just talked. I don't remember everything that we talked about, but we just talked a lot about what we do. We talked about each other. We talked about what we like, and it was the beginning of a great friendship. It was authentic, genuine, and wonderful. And from that moment, we'd been friends since. So throughout our friendship, like we talk about our own relationships, we talk about what's going on with us. Um, we actually did a podcast together. I think we need to probably film some more of those. We did a lot of, and still are doing a lot of great things. He was part of my second book, Finding Your Flow, Butterfly Secret to Happiness. It's a workbook on happiness. I worked with him a lot during that book. I have actually he's one of the people that I dedicated the book to as well. Um, and 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 I always say, in these how I met, you never know who you're meeting, how you're meeting, or why you're meeting. But I think for us, it was a great friendship. That's why we met, so we could help each other along this path and along in our journeys of life. And even though he's now moved away, we still talk when we can. We still try to FaceTime. We have chats. We discuss like everything that we've done since the first time we've met. We continue to do because that's like the kind of people that we are, and that's when people come into your life, that's what they're for. And for us to continue to be friends and to talk and to chop it up and everything is very wonderful. So that is how I met my wonderful person I'm able to call friend, Thomas RaShad Easley. So hope you enjoyed. Check the interview after this. Thank you.
Hey, everybody. Thank you for still being here. And now I have an interview with Dr. Thomas Rashad Easley for this episode of Him, How I Met. Rashad,
Greetings, butterfly. What's going on? How you doing?
I'm good. Why are you side eyeing me already?
You caught me. I was putting my water down. I was like, I was gonna have it out my hand, to sit. Well, actually, I can sit right here in this chair. I don't have to hide it away. Yeah, but yeah,
No,
yeah, exactly.
it's
So that's
just
all.
water. You
Yeah,
with
exactly.
family. It's okay.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I just it's hot as it is. That's all. Hey, those who are drinking other things, they are courageous because I am like,
Right.
no.
Yes. We need lots and lots of water.
Yes, yes, for
Just to
sure.
feel okay.
I'm
So
telling you, man. Woo. Yeah, I mean, it is hot down here.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. Nah, but it's good to see you and good to it's always good to see you, you just a ray of sunshine and
Yay.
and then it's just all I know it's always a great interaction. So I'm looking forward to whatever's gonna come, from it. So yeah.
Yeah, and it's good to see your face too. It's different because I'm not used to this, but it's
Oh,
good to see your face.
yeah, my chinny chin chin. Yeah, the
Yes.
beard. Yeah, and it was longer. So I actually could, yeah, it was longer than this. So yeah, so but I'm gonna keep growing it, but being outside reminds me of how hot it is because my face really does get hot because it's thick, it's curly, but so this helps me stay inside too. It's,
Yeah, but it,
yeah.
it, it looks it looks great on you. Even though like you have a great face already, and
Hmm.
then that, and I'm like, oh my goodness, because beards aren't for everybody. I'm just gonna say
Oh
that
man.
out
Oh, well, I
loud.
appreciate that. Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, well, my sister, when I first had gotten to Connecticut, and I lost my clippers. I couldn't find them, and I was staying with my sister at the time. And you remember how I used to wear, my hair with a goatee and everything,
Mm-hmm.
really shaping everything. But my face, the hair kept growing, because I hadn't cut it. I couldn't find my clippers. And then the first day of work, I was like, well, I just kind of took a razor and, excuse me, and did, this little thing. And then I went in there, what you think? And she went, you could wear a beard, bro. She said, whoa, you could do that. And I
Mm-hmm.
was like, you said, okay. She said it works. So, but of course, that's when it was close to my face. And I just kept growing it, just kept going. And then it stuck. Or what happened was I cut my hair off one time accidentally. My barber did it. I'm not mad at him. And Connecticut is cold, and I walked outside, and my chin hollered. I didn't holler. My chin hollered. It's like I mean, sounded just like a hummingbird or something. It's like, and I was looking around like, who's screaming? It was my face without my mouth. So started growing it back. And we haven't had that kind of a scare again. The chin has not opened up, and so yeah.
Oh my goodness. See, and this is why I love you, because you have me cracking up all the time.
Oh man, okay. Well, hey, I'm just telling you. Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to feel that again. So nah.
No,
So
I
we good.
understand. Like,
Yeah.
I had my hair on my head short before, and I was like, oh,
Like,
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Why is that touching me? Like, oh,
Yes,
like, oh, I feel disrespected all of a sudden. So yeah, it was.
yes.
Oh yeah, it felt like the universe was just like, oh, mhm. I didn't do it, but I think I did. What did I do? So yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna get myself together, because you ain't gonna have me laughing this whole time. You probably
All right.
will, but
I'll try not to.
okay. So I only have a few questions for you.
Okay.
My first question for you is, how did you get the name and become the hip hop forester?
Well, oh boy. Oh dang. Oh, okay. I wasn't ready for that. You're right. I wasn't.
Yeah,
Oh, and this is gonna
stories.
record stories. How did I become? Well, okay. Well, oh man. No one's asked me that. People just ask me about hip hop forestry. But how did I
You.
become the hip hop forester? I mean, in some ways it was self-declared,
Mm-hmm.
but I didn't mean to. In the sense of, I really just wanted to make a song called Hip Hop Forestry, which I did. I think I released that in 2018, I think. And
Mm-hmm.
and I think that what ended up happening was, well, forestry is such a specialized discipline, and to
Mm-hmm.
combine that with hip hop, who's ever done that? So I guess up to this point, no one has. And then
Right.
I had that video that was done with the Dogwood Alliance that's now in like a documentary film. I was out in Congaree National Forest in South Carolina, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the video. You wanted one of my. Now I can say that one of my videos that's went viral, because now I've had a couple. But that one went viral because I guess because I'm a black man out in the forest, and you don't see that. But well, I shouldn't say you don't see that. You don't see it like that. Someone who's out in the forest who understands what's going on out there. Because
Mm-hmm.
because we do go to the forest, we do go outside, and I also don't want to minimize and say people don't know about it.
Right.
But that's it. So I bring the song out. The video comes out. And then that's what someone calls me. Like, I did an interview and someone says, "Oh, the hip hop forest." As a matter of fact, I think it was, I went to Ohio State and someone called me that. Yeah, like looks like that was on the flyer. Then I went to Michigan State and that was on the flyer. And I was like, really? Like, this kind of, and don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm just being honest here. I don't think that is corny. I'm just like, Forrester, who wants to put Forrester after hip hop? But what I appreciate now, and I think what it was is that I was concerned about people missing that I do have skills, because making that song wasn't just about forestry and hip hop. It was about showing you
Mm-hmm.
that I can rhyme, like showing you that I got bars. So what I
Mm-hmm.
appreciate now is that people do, that people do recognize that and do acknowledge it. And hip hop forester is kind of, at least it's sticking right now.
Yes, yes. And this is not part of my question, but I guess it should be,
Mhm.
because um I don't think, but for the people who don't know or understand exactly who you are and what you do, can you tell us a little bit about Dr. Thomas Easley? Not
Sure.
RaShad, Dr. Thomas Easley. We're gonna get back to RaShad in a minute.
Dr. Thomas Easley. So my doctorate is in adult education, and I have a master's in genetics, and my BS is in forestry, and that's my background. And so I guess that really answers your question of the hip hop forester, right?
Yes.
Not a lot of hip hop artists are also foresters. And forester in the field of forestry, cultivating the forest for the use of products, but also habitat. We, like the wood in your house, the wood in any house comes from somewhere. The coffee that people drink comes from somewhere. The scent, the flavor that's in cookies, even Oreo cookies, comes from somewhere, and it comes from the forest. So
Mm-hmm.
I am a purveyor, or a user as well, or a consumer of that discipline. And so what I did was, but I'm also a hip hop artist, and I'll admit I've been a hip hop artist longer than I've been a forester, because I've been engaging in hip hop since I was, like, as far as writing rhymes
Mm-hmm.
and trying to produce music since I was 15, and I'm in my 40s now. So I've been doing it.
Take that trying out of there. Producing music.
I've been
And make
producing. Yeah, I've been producing. Well, I would say when I was 15, I think I was trying. When we were in the studio, we were making songs, but it's
right.
just as the years progressed, I got like feet, then ankle, then knee deep, then thigh, waist, hip, and then now I'm all the way into where I do make music. For those who question, I do make money off of like the songs that I make, but now it's a crew of us. It's not just me. And so what I
Yes.
did was, I used to work at NC State, go Wolfpack for those who are out there. Even though I am a graduate of an HBCU, go Bulldogs all day, every day. Um, I, I used to, well, I still do a lot of diversity work, because that's what that's one of my,
Mm.
vocational practices now.
Yes.
And but when I first got there, a lot of people's perception of diversity work is like really just recruiting people who look like you and I, especially in
Mm-hmm.
the spaces where people don't look like you and I,
Right.
especially if they're white, just to keep it, like straight.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my mentors at the time, when I was getting my doctorate, gave me a suggestion that I should use something that comes natural to me, or that's passionate to me,
Mm.
to connect with people. And one time I was getting
Right.
ready to do a session and recruit. This is about 300 students, and do a talk, and I just started rapping. I just did a cappella, and to watch 300 young people, like children, just, and then a few started smiling, and then when I finished, they all just burst out clapping, like, oh, like boom. So now I can start talking to them. Now,
Right.
what I was rapping about was environmental stuff. You see, so I got tired of people, and I'm sorry, this is my long answer. I did not mean to do this, so I'll say this and then
No,
I'll stop.
you're good.
I'm in an arena. I'm in an academic arena, which I'm proud to be in. I'm very fortunate to work at Yale University as well. But I'm in a space where one of the narratives, or one of the common statements now, especially as it relates to environmental injustice or environmental justice, is our community, African American, Indigenous American, Latinx, or Latino, Latina, Hispanic, which is, old term, but now people say people of color, or
Mm-hmm.
BIPOC, but at any rate, that we are adversely affected by these things that are happening in the environment. Excuse me. So when I go to places and I hear us, yeah, I have to say us because I'm an academic. You're an academic. Like we're
Yes.
both. Like we're like formally educated. So you go to those spaces and I hear the language that they're using, and I'm like, man, you came to my to my home and talk like that, man. Nobody gonna hear that. But then at the
Mm-hmm.
same time, the way that they're talking about it, I'm not just saying that in the sense of, oh, people can't understand it. I'm saying even what you're saying still has gaps in it. The language
Mm-hmm.
that you're speaking has gaps. So it's still exclusive the way that you're talking, not just from a term, not just from a vernacular sense, or jargon sense, I should say, but but it's also lacking something from an diversity sense and from an inclusion, like perspective. So
Yes.
that's why I made the song. I said, well, I want to make a song that calls out the academy and brings my community, because that's who I speak to. I'll be honest. I
Right.
speak to anyone who listens. But if you
Mm-hmm.
were to say, Thomas, who are you talking to? For the most part, I'm talking to Black people. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking to Latinx people. I'm talking to Indigenous people. Like, that's who I'm
Right.
talking to, because I really want us to not be hopeless, and I want us to know that the answers are inside of us already. And so that's what
Exactly.
that song's about. Long answer, sorry.
No, I like long answers. Me and you talk for hours.
I
So
know, I know, I love it all. I love it. Yes.
right. So all of that with the music and everything brings me to the next question. So
Hmm.
tell me about the Easley branch.
Well, wow, it's history. I mean, if this brother ever sees it, a guy used to rap with, he went by the name Dutch. Really, Easley Branch started off well, this is 2020. So Easley Branch started in 2011,
Mm.
and it was really a move just to make myself and my rhyming partner at the time appear legit. Well, we were legitimate, but to be
Right.
legitimate, like if you're going to invite me or invite us, to come and perform and do a show. I don't want, like I don't want people just assuming, oh, the witty starving artist. I want people to know that we are, like that we're men, and we
Mm-hmm.
are adults, and that we have our business together. So I started an LLC, and his last name's Branch and mine is Easley. And what just kind of made sense was what make it a branch. You know what I'm saying? So I
Right.
wasn't trying to put me before him. I just was like, yeah, it just makes sense. And that's really how it started. And so we were in a group that was entitled Diversity. And
Mm.
we did shows up and down parts of the East Coast, no, up and down the East Coast, throughout the Southeast, and even in the Midwest. We got to Indiana. And while the group didn't persist and flourish, we made some good songs. I still love that brother. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, he was an outstanding rhymer. I always thought that he was a better rapper than me. And he's younger than me, and we represented so much. Okay, so that's how it started. Then I have
Okay.
another friend of mine who, like yourself, is a soldier. So he's a veteran, and
Mm-hmm.
his name is Dr. David Washington. And or D Wash, as I call him from time to time, real brilliant man from Alabama, like myself. But like I said, Army veteran like you.
Mm-hmm.
And he's been an entrepreneur for, I think, at least 13, maybe 15 years. I can't remember because now things are running together. I think that happens when you cross a certain threshold.
Yes. Yes.
He's been in business at least longer than a decade. And my friend is doing great business. I can't, speak too much about all of his business, but
Right.
he was the one who saw, and he gave us a shot to perform at a big conference that he had in your hometown, down in Fayetteville.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the one that said, "Look, T, you probably going to start now that I have these certifications and like doing diversity trainings and stuff. And he said, you really understand this stuff on a different level. Why don't you run?" So he really gave me a lot of tips on business. And I had another friend who was a Navy guy who I worked out with. His name is Josh Robertson. He was the one that helped me get started in business and taught me a lot of, typical, like ideal, not typical, but ideal things like
Mm-hmm.
always have at least $2,500 in the bank and, and just, how to name, just all of these things.
Yeah.
But, David was the one that said, run everything through it. And so then when I started doing diversity trainings, that's what I started doing. And so then what happened was the skill of diversity, equity, inclusion, justice, access, whatever word you want to use, because a lot of people, I mean, they don't mean the same thing. But when we
Right.
talk
Right.
about just equal treatment, when we talk about diversity, civil rights, those 4 or 5 words, come up now, a lot,
Mm-hmm.
especially diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Yes.
But so I started doing more of them, and I'm fortunate that I like that. That's what started happening. I started making more money, and technically still am, but it's fine
Mm-hmm.
making money doing diversity work than music. But hey, such as a time as this, isn't it ironic that like now that's what I do, and that's what I'm being brought out to do.
Right. Right.
So the branch started growing, and what I did was I followed all of the rules. This paid all the fees, got
Mm-hmm.
a great accountant, you like Dr. Washington really guided me in that. And then the music started to pick up. Well, what happened was I wanted to, I kept making music, but the
Mm-hmm.
more music I didn't make music by myself, I was bringing other people into it. So,
Yes.
like Talitha B, uh, Mitch Durrell, now Mr. Dozier, Joe T the producer, Io the philosopher,
Mm-hmm.
Sick, XC Blue, Key, Payne, JS 20,000, DJ Green. Now
Mm-hmm.
these that's my crew. That's the Great
Mm-hmm.
Minds Alliance right there. And we were already, everybody technically was already making music, but see, the relationship around how it all came together is the most fascinating part because some of those people were my former students. Like I was their professor.
Yes.
Some of those people were my patrons in the church that I led. I was their pastor. some of those people I would have mentors because I'm older, because I'm technically older than everybody. So, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I look like it, but I probably sound like it, But,
You
so
still
it's like,
younger than me.
yeah, I'm still younger than, yes, I am, but I don't look like it. I know that, you definitely younger than me, beautiful. But, um, I, asked everybody if we made this great music together. And there's another sister, Morgan Cheek. I don't want to leave her out, but she's not like, active with us, but she was a big part,
Mm-hmm.
of everything. And then I work with other people, Tia Soundoff. But everybody I named before, or really like Morgan, that's the crew.
Mm-hmm.
That's the crew that I work with.
Yep.
And so we were all making either music on our own, but on my music, I would bring them in. And then I gave them this idea: why don't we make a crew? And so they said, yeah. And a few people in the crew are now on the label, on the branch, but everybody does their own
Mm-hmm.
thing and, still
Right.
affiliated or still down. So then what I did was I said, okay, so what I do is the branch will be a talent development, because some of those, individuals, and a couple others that I didn't mention, I've helped launch their
Mm-hmm.
music career, or
Mm-hmm.
the talent, like career. Like if people want to publish something, I help them with the writing, editing, different things like that. So there were other services, because remember, I'm an academic. So I said, okay, we're gonna run the music through this. We're gonna run the diversity consultant part through this. And
Mm-hmm.
I got I have my for real first official book contract. I like, we're gonna run the author stuff through this. And so that's what happened. Everything that came natural to me, I just ran through, do everything legally, and to God be
Yeah.
the glory. Now we, getting contracts, and my bank is starting to grow like my chin, the hair on my chin. So I'm very proud.
And I was just saying, sometimes that might not be the goal, but it's always a wonderful
Yeah.
byproduct of the goal.
Yeah, that was never the goal. The goal was just to be good at what I did. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That was always the goal, and to make, like, when it came to music, make music that taught people. I'm not gonna even say make music that people want, because I make music that I
Mm-hmm.
want to hear. But I
Right.
want my music to teach people. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that that's what it does. Now what's happening though is that now it really is entertaining people, because I know how to make music, and people are like, yo, like, hey, this is good. Then when they really read the lyrics, they go, man, he did it again. I
Mm-hmm.
snuck a message in, or I snuck a lesson in there. And then the diversity work is, and see, here's what's funny. What do I rap about? Equity, treating people right. What's
Mm-hmm.
diversity? About equity and treating people right. So
Exactly.
see, so as other people may hear this and think I'm doing a lot of different things, I'm not. I'm doing the
It's
same thing,
all
just in different ways. It's all,
connected.
it's all connected. So that's the Easley branch.
Yes, and you work with a lot of different people, and I just say that because we've worked with you. The higher ups have worked with you with art and
Yep.
all the other stuff that
Yes, yes.
Malik does from that side of the higher ups university. So,
My second highest selling album. I can say that now because each time I put out a record, it sells out the last one. So my
uh-huh.
second highest selling album, the Chronicles of Professor Prismatic, higher ups did the album cover
Yeah.
and single, cover for Why You Hating, and uh, excuse me, and I think it's done like a couple of other singles. Higher ups did Hip Hop Forestry. As a matter of fact, Higher
Yes.
ups you all actually did the image of what the world knows is is Hip Hop Forestry. So yeah, so thank
Yes.
y'all. Yeah, so yeah, I guess Hip Hop Forestry involves not just Easy Branch.
Right. Right. Working
Hmm.
with everybody. It's good. It's good
Hmm.
to work with everybody. Now I'm
Yep.
gonna go back to what you talk about in your songs and
Hmm.
what's going on in them. And you speak
Hmm.
very highly of women,
Hmm.
probably more in particular Black women.
Yes.
And tell me a little bit about your love for Black women, because I know you can go for days about this, but
Yes.
tell me,
I mean, well, I
because
mean,
we've talked for hours about it, about the different
yeah.
things, and more in particular about, I can't remember the name of the song, but the video you have with the women, I think it's on the
Perfect.
train tracks. Yes,
Perfect. Yes.
yes.
Well, I mean, women, man, I mean, I was raised by women. So, I have always had a respect, like for women. Um, from being a child on up, like
Mm-hmm.
to now. um, I used to be afraid of women or girls, I should say, when I was a boy. I was so nervous, and stuff. And I think I still have some of that innocence in me. Excuse me, but the women who raised me, the women who went, even teach me now, like it was always strength there. So I'm not gonna say that that's all I know in the sense of I've never seen women that be vulnerable, and not that that's not strength. Just like people may not be at the strong gifts where they can stand alone. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so but all I've seen is strong women. And so and that's all I was raised by, and I'm fortunate to say that that's all I've now partner, but have been intimate or shared like space with. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think that you say, I guess where does that love come from? I mean, I'll admit it stems from my mom and my sister, in particular, and because like if you don't want somebody to do something to them, then why would you do it to someone else? You know what I mean? So
Right.
and I even have a song about that actually, like it talks about that. But then, so that's like just like that's the genesis or the root of where the love comes from. It starts at home. I'll
Mm-hmm.
admit that, and I'm fortunate to have both of them in my life. And I mean, my mom is just like amazing. But it started with my grandmother. It started with her. So may she,
Mm-hmm.
rest in power. Because my grandmother, like, she's the reason that my family got involved in the civil rights movement. I thought it was them. It was her. I mean, my grandma she was an entrepreneur, had like at least 3 businesses. And I
Oh
mean,
wow.
just smart, man, and just like I said, strong women. So that's, just, women who could carry the world on their shoulders if they had to, but they shouldn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
But then that's probably all women, but so then there's that. So then that's just the gender part or even the energy,
Mm-hmm.
appreciating the energy, of femininity that, mostly comes from women, but men can be effeminate as well.
Yeah, everybody has both. It just
Exactly.
depends
They got
on how
both,
they use it. Yeah.
polarities, as some say, or both
Yes.
energies, or, both chromosomes, or, then you have the size, the whole thing around look, and then what kind of woman. Now, most people who know me now and who've at least seen me since the either early or to mid 2000s don't know that I used to weigh over 300 pounds. So they don't know that I used to be a pretty, plump, I'm cute. Hello.
You said I'm still cute. Don't get
You know
it
what I'm saying?
twisted.
Exactly. Sometimes
That
people laugh or I say that when I do words, they go,
that
woo. And I be like, that woo better be because you thought I was cute. Like,
right.
and then,
Because that ain't
and then,
changed.
yeah, and sometimes they chill, thank you. And then I'm like, oh, you not, it's not funny no more. Oh, that's what I thought. But but yeah, so I tell them, so I have a journey as it relates to that too, like
Mm-hmm.
weight, size, being obese, and being in one way unhealthy, because there are multiple ways of being unhealthy,
Mm-hmm.
and I lost the weight, but I've always been attracted to thick women, like thick women or plus size women, but but like Prince, I'm just attracted to women, period. You know what I'm saying? So it's not really about size. I like health, slim women, thin women,
Mm-hmm.
all are gorgeous to me. But I did do a song, Perfect, in particular, dedicated
Yes.
to thicker women. I have one for slimmer women coming soon too, actually.
Okay.
But
Thank you.
because all women are like beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Tall women. Yes, you are welcome. Yes, she no, thank you. No, thank you. And so, but we're gonna I just think that women give life and bring life into the earth. So, and that's why we call you all Earth. Especially those who are who are 5%.
Mm.
And so then that's the other thing. You bring life into this earth. You are soft, and I don't mean like soft in the sense of
Yeah.
texture. I mean soft in the sense of like the energy, and like the space that really can calm down like anything. And to me, that's the piece that everybody wants, technically at all times, because that's the space you
Mm-hmm.
can be at 24/7 technically, right? So I just see women as this carriers of love and energy. And I say this one last thing. I'm sorry. I just can't believe I had these answers. I didn't know I was going to be doing this.
No,
Is that
I knew you were going to do this.
I feel like femininity is fully connected to the to the universe, or to what we know as God. So I
Mm-hmm.
think that's why I think women many times unintentionally push the buttons of men. Well, heterosexual men, I should say, because I don't, I want to be, I guess, a little bit more specific about that. But I don't think
Mm-hmm.
it's not always intentional to push the button, but it happens naturally because of the energy, you know. And men, a lot of times we're stuck in our head, and women, you all can get in the body, And so I think that that energy, that presence, that beauty, that 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 vessels, deserves the utmost, like respect, and the utmost care. And then, at times, when it's that time, deserves the utmost love and passion too. So yeah.
Yes, especially to that love. We need all the love and passion.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It is deserving. I think that's really what love and passion was made for. So yeah.
Yes. Okay. So if you could go back and do anything over again on your journey, what would it be, or would you do anything?
Hmm. If I could go back, well, watch my words, because there's a lot of things. No, that's not true. It's not a lot of things. I mean,
No, no, no.
what
Keep
I stay
keep that
entrenched
first.
in.
It's a lot of things because you say a lot of things
Yeah,
that's off, and then I'm like, what? And then you have to clean it up. So yeah, it's a lot of
yeah.
things. Keep it at
It's a
that.
lot of
Go ahead.
things that I think about, that I reflect upon. It's not a lot of things that I would want to do over.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, I like what my life is, and I like being, rooted in reality. It keeps me sane, and it keeps me, anchored. Keeps me, like stable, if you will. A balanced is a word, But
Mm-hmm.
so, but I mean, I would have had more confidence in myself. When I was younger, I would have had more confidence in my skill. I
Mm,
probably would have done music earlier. You know,
yeah.
uh, I probably would have been more confident in myself as a person, when engaging with people, because remember I told you I was scared of, I was scared of girls, scared of women, So, but the reason I said I wouldn't change that is because I think that that's what also got me to that level of respect that I have still now, and
Mm-hmm.
so that's why I wouldn't change that, but I do admit I can see the impact, of what it, of kind of being that way or behaving that way, what it did. I wonder if I would have maybe gotten my doctorate earlier. I don't know, or if I would have majored in something else. And I'm not
Mm,
trying to say I don't love my field of forestry, but
yeah.
you know, um, I mean, for me, a discipline at the time wasn't about my life calling, and then for a lot of people, it is. When they
Right.
go off to school or when they go major in something, I didn't really have a map for myself,
Mm,
until I really hit like my almost mid 30s. Like 33 is when I started mapping and planning things. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. But
mhm.
if I would have done that earlier, who knows where I'd be? And but that's about, yeah, like those are just a few things. Like I said, the confidence and
Yeah.
seeing myself, as more um taking chances, being willing to um, to take a leap, So yeah.
Okay.
hmm
And so what does Dr. Thomas Rashad Easley have going on now? Do you have anything coming up? Do you have anything coming out? What do we have going on?
Okay, what do we have going on? Well, we have a lot going on actually. We
I
have a lot
thought
going on.
I kind of knew that because it's
Yeah.
you. So
Yeah, we have our newsletters that are going to start back up because we haven't been doing them because we've been doing so much business.
yeah.
So what I'm proud to say is on the diversity side of things is, we're fortunate that we have a number of amazing clients that we're working with to help actualize the vision for diversity, equity, and inclusion in their space.
Mm,
I'm really busy with that, and my teams. It's a team. Excuse me. It's not just me.
yeah.
So that's on that front, and then I'm like speaking in various places. doing more virtual stuff, obviously, in this Rona time. But
Mm-hmm.
so I have more of those happening. So you got that. Then on the music side, this year we've already released two albums, two projects off of the branch. We released the Dean's List record in February 29th, so leap year, baby. And
Yes.
people are really liking that. We're getting ready to drop a new single off of that, but I'll get back to that here in a minute. And then we dropped Mr. Doja. OMG, it's my time, and he's on the West Coast,
Mm.
So the good thing about the Dean's List was that was the whole crew. Like I said, everybody that I mentioned, when I said all of those names, that was all of us: producers, poets, singers, dancers, rappers. We put it down. Excuse me. Doja comes out next, right? So he drops his album, and he had a song on the Dean's List, is on solo song called All the Smoke. All the Smoke ended up on OMG. All right, so I'm sure we got another single coming. B's just about to finish his record. So now we're getting ready to drop a new single called Meditate, which is one of the songs off of the Dean's List. It's the number one song on the Dean's List record. So I still can't believe people really love that song. So that's our next single, everybody. Meditate. That's with me, B, Mitch Durrell, and Io the Philosopher, produced by
Mm.
Carvo Music. And then we're going to have a surprise for people on the back of that single. It's a surprise for them because that's what's getting you ready for the rest of 2020. What's going to be
Mm.
on the rest of that? Because we have about, I think, 4 or 5 new projects coming before the end of the year.
Mm.
So I have 2 albums that are coming. Joe T has 2 albums that are coming. B has an album that's coming. Talitha has a project that's coming. She has a book that's already out, and like just keeps selling out, on bookshelves. So we're busy. So musically, we got something for you. JS 20,000 is getting ready to drop a record. So if you want music, just music, we got you. If you want singing, just drop the album on Friday. LaJane Doe just dropped the album. So you want some singing, we got you. But when it comes to the hip hop, when it comes to that jazz, when it comes to mixing it up, even making it country, we are doing some stuff now, and I'm just so proud to be part of this crew. And that even in this tough time, what it's really done is open it up so that we could do more.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And that's what I say for a lot of people, that this time is time for you to get things done before the world opens back up, so you can have it. And since you have a lot of people in place, it's the best time to be able to get people while they're in place.
Get
So
it. Oh, while you made me think of this, the Heartwood podcast. I have a podcast
I did
that
see that.
run out of with Yale. So I thank Yale for believing in the vision.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been able to maintain that over the break and get some amazing people, even some North Carolinians on there, like Dr. Allison Matthews. So we've been able to, really kind of open that up, so have that going. And then I'm in a documentary. Oh my goodness, and I apologize, I can't think of it. It's a film that's with the Dogwood Alliance, but where we're telling stories in the forest. I think that's what it is. Their stories in the forest.
Mm.
And so I'm in that film. And
Mm-hmm.
I cannot believe, like the things that are happening. And like I said, we got singles that's coming. I got a book that's coming out be at the end of the year. Mine Heart
Mm-hmm.
for Diversity. Yeah, let me stop there, because I'm
Okay.
thankful for everything. Let me stop there.
Yeah.
I'm thankful.
I mean,
It's
but
like, wow, I
I
can't
asked a
believe it.
question though, so that what?
That's what I'm saying. Like, wow,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, because you remember, you know me for years. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? So yes.
Yes. So I know it's always something going on with you, for you,
Yeah.
about you, and you're all about helping others, which is why the other
Mm-hmm.
stuff comes easily. Like I said, it's not what you're working for or about, but it's the byproduct of who you are and what you do.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. No,
yeah,
I appreciate that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So is there anything else you wanted to add? Because that was the last question. So
Yeah.
I
I
only
mean,
do
we
like five
never.
questions per person.
Yeah, we still haven't said how we met.
I talk about how we met at the
Oh,
beginning.
I'm sorry.
But
Okay,
if you
got it.
want to talk about it, you can talk about it, because we might
Well,
see it different. Because I do
yeah,
my
we
own
might.
special video about that.
Okay, well,
But you
shoot,
talk about it,
I
because
probably
I
should have
think
kept
there's
my
some
foot
stuff
out
you
my
don't.
mouth.
No, I think there's some stuff you don't know about how we met.
Okay, I don't.
So you
Okay,
gotta
well, oh
watch
my
it with
gosh,
everybody else.
yeah. All right. Well, I mean, I remember meeting, at what was the name of that club?
It was
Um,
Mosaic.
Mosaic. I remember that, and there was
Yeah,
an event going on.
a
You know,
networking event.
the networking event, right? And I was there, and I think it was.
You
And
don't
this
even
was
remember. Look,
no, I don't remember the name of it, but I remember. But I remember. I remember where we were at. You see that? I said the club. See, I know
you
that that's where
did.
we met, and I know it was an event. I remember
Yes,
Kim was the one who put it on, and
yes,
she introduced us.
yes.
But it was before I technically worked with her. You see what I'm saying? So it was before I had done something with her,
Hmm.
and I remember, her, I mean, she said a number of positive things about you. I remember like, just talking about how strong this brother is and how good he is. And I mean, the sister's my friends, she doing this and doing that. And I remember we left there and walked outside and talked in the parking lot for
Hmm.
what, walked across the street. See, I remember, I ain't forget,
But the
for a
question
long time.
is, what you might not know, do you know why she introduced us?
That I'm trying to remember.
You might not know because she might not have told you. She told me.
Yeah, she didn't tell me. Yeah, I
She,
mean,
she was trying to hook us up.
oh no, she never told me that. She never told me that.
I'm pretty sure she was like, well, you single and he's single. I was like, all single people ain't got to be together. But I'm grateful for the introduction because we become great
Yeah,
friends from that introduction.
exactly. Yeah,
But
no,
no,
no, she never told me. Oh, I thought it was like serendipitous. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm up
but it
here.
was. It was
Well, yeah, it
serendipitous.
was. Yeah, it was. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, wow. Okay, trying to play matchmaker.
Yes, because just because somebody else has an agenda for something, however it turns out, it's
Hmm.
not up to them. But see, what we
That's right.
made from it is what it was supposed to be.
Yeah, I mean, we've done business together now. We've
Yes.
done podcasts together now.
Yeah.
We've done videos together. I love coming out and I'm back, but coming out
Hmm.
supporting you, your poetry, you come support a performance of mine. I mean,
Yep.
it turned into something golden.
Yes.
So yeah, wow. Dang, yeah. Dude, I might need to call you for some other services, man, because of your expertise, so like on the real. So, but
No,
yeah,
I'm always here for that. So
okay,
yeah.
yeah, okay, wow. Well,
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to hearing the beginning now, because no, I didn't know, all right then, shoot, all
Well, I
right,
will definitely tag you when this comes out.
okay,
So I'm going
please,
to close this, but don't you go nowhere because we got to talk.
okay,
So thank you all for watching this episode of Him with Dr. Thomas RaShad Easley. RaShad, thank you so much for being here.
Butterfly. Thank you for the opportunity. It's always a pleasure to see you, to talk to you, and I look forward to checking out the other ones as well. So,
All right. Thank you.
best to you.